Yes, Stefania. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you very clearly. Can you hear me
Awesome.
clearly?
I can. I can. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties earlier. Well, no, it's really me, not Stefania. So let me get that straight. Yeah, so all right, we are live. Just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that we are live.
And can the audience hear us? Welcome to everyone who is watching. And of course, if you're watching live right now, we want to welcome you to Fun Fresh
Fun Fresh
Friday.
Friday. Yay.
And you can
So we
hashtag us, right?
yes, yes.
Hashtag
So
live.
we have been gone for a while. We've been
Mm,
gone for 2 weeks, I believe.
we-
2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks because I had some stuff to do and you were on vacation. Yay.
Yes.
It was
Bit of work and vacation. More play than work. So
good.
it was.
That's always good.
Yes, 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 yes. And we're back in our usual routine. I'm back in Melbourne. You're
Back
back
in
in
Tennessee.
Tennessee. That's right, because
No.
you went away too. You went to Chicago, didn't you? And
Yes. Went to the You Belong Foundation annual Page Awards. So
mm,
it is on the You Belong Foundation, and you can see it. I went live as well. So yeah, and I wanted to also it's being observed today, but it's actually tomorrow. But it's your time, November 11th.
okay.
Um, like to say happy Veterans Day for all of my brothers and sisters at arms.
Oh, happy
Yes.
Veterans Day today. I didn't realize. Yay.
So this is my cup for tonight
Hmm.
in
Where's your
honor of
picture?
all.
Usually you post a picture of you in your uniform. Yeah, pull it out. I love that picture. Back in the day, I mean,
Yay.
she was in her khaki army gear, like, strutting her
Oh,
stuff. I loved it.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
have to
No,
post that.
that's I'll post it maybe.
Go on.
Yeah, maybe. I'll do it tomorrow on the day, actually, the day for Veterans Day. So
Mhm.
we actually salute you. We thank God for you, for the sacrifices that you make. And I also like to say, well, thank you, Lael. She says, Happy Veterans Day. Thank
And
you. Thank you. Yeah. Also, for the moms, the wives, the children, you know, they sacrifice too.
of
So
course,
Natalie, I
everybody.
want to congratulate Natalie. She is now a full-fledged flight attendant.
Woohoo! Congratulations, Natalie.
Yeah,
And she's
I saw
flying
her.
for? Who is the airline she is flying for?
SkyWest. So yes, SkyWest.
Star
Well, it's
it's an American.
SkyWest.
Oh,
Yeah,
SkyWest. Okay.
yeah. So they have all affiliates. SkyWest can fly for Delta, can fly for United, can fly for Americans.
Mhm.
So, she's it's those regional planes that are just an hour, or two.
Right.
Yeah. I saw her graduation today. It was live and it was so much fun. And
Awesome.
yeah, so that was really good that I was able to see her graduation virtually.
Yeah, isn't that
So,
amazing now? Like, we can definitely be present virtually, but still not
mhm.
miss out on, if we can't be there in presence, we can still be present in spirit as well as being able to see it all.
Yeah, yeah, that was cool. That was really cool. Yeah. So,
So,
we have a very uh, fun topic that we're going to continue part two. Get to know us.
that's right. Well, I think being part 2, Zanetta, part 2 is pertaining to you because, I I pretty much, shared with everyone who I was, unless you had other questions you wanted to ask me. I'm not sure because you did say there was, I think we should do a little bit more, but I don't know. What did you have in mind? Yeah, I can see that look in your eyes.
Yes, yes. So, we did talk about, the birth of Gentleman Square, which
Mhm.
was real. I mean, I listened to that. I re-listened to it. I think about 5 times.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I re-listened to about
Oh,
5 times. Yeah.
what's
Um,
that? Why 5? Like, what was drawing you back to listen to it?
well, there were certain things that you had said
Mhm.
that kind of like, oh gosh, I need to ask that. And I need to follow up on that because of your explanation. Of course, we only have an hour, so um, in 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 your journey to the gentleman in your journey with the Gentleman Square, and when you have these people who have criticized you, who
Mm.
have um who have said, "Oh no, you need to change the name." And also the men that are in the group saying, "Well, where are the women? Where where can I put my Venmo? Where can I put my pen pal?
That's it.
PayPal, my PayPal. I need to know." So, how did you
Mhm.
navigate through that?
How did I navigate through it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there were different stages of my navigation through that, if I can just break it
Yes.
up in pieces.
Yeah.
And why I say that is because in the beginning, being very sensitive and an empath that I am, and I must say you know, I do take things well, I used to take things very personal. I won't lie.
So,
You
so
know,
for
I
those that are listening, and for those that are wanting to get to know you more,
mm,
and that would feel comfortable, you know being able to have their brothers, their uncles, the males in their lives feel comfortable to say, "Hey, I know a coach that you need to go to because you got issues. You need to go to Stefania." What is an empath? So if you can explain that.
okay, so an empath is someone who takes on someone else's energy, so to speak. Like you feel what someone else is feeling. Let me give you an example. And you can be an emotional empath or you can be a physical empath. Or you may be able to be both a physical and an emotional empath. So an emotional empath is where you may see someone crying. Now that person may be someone dear to you or may not be dear to you. You may, I don't know, have you ever been to a funeral and you've gone to the funeral and you don't really know the person, so to speak, or you've accompanied someone to a funeral and you see all these people crying. And even though you don't know the deceased, you can find yourself crying to an extent that's like, oh wow, it feels like I know this person. I'm crying in a way that I've had a loss myself, like I've personally known this person. Well, that is an emotional empath where you are like feeling and taking on someone else's emotions and energies, because emotions are, energy in motion. So it's an energy and you are feeling it, how that person may be feeling it. And it will come out, whether it be crying, because it's sad, it might be laughter. So being an emotional empath, you're not always sad and crying or angry, because you can actually take on someone's anger as well.
Mm.
You can also be happy and joyful and take on someone's happy, vibrant energy that they're exerting. And then
Mhm.
you have a physical empath who will feel someone's pain physically.
Mm.
And this is very common. with, people that are practicing physicians, doctors, masseurs, nurses. And you don't have to be one of those, but if you are, you can really end up in a lot of pain because you can take on, other people's pain. And I'm one of those. I'm both actually. I'm a nice blend of an emotional and physical empath.
Yeah,
So
I am too.
right,
Um,
and I mean, I've experienced, physical pain, particularly with my parents, because I cared for my father before he passed. I would physically feel pain that he would be feeling. Um, my mom, and I've actually felt pain with people I don't even know. I could be
mhm,
in a supermarket waiting in line at the checkout, and I can literally all of a sudden feel this like headache or pain in my body physically,
mhm,
and it's not mine. Like I don't have pain. Like I don't. Where did that come from? I wasn't doing anything. I didn't exert myself physically, and now I know that that is something I'm feeling energetically in a physical way,
mhm.
and I'm and a physical emotional empath. So that's what an empath is.
Okay. And so how did you how did you, okay, so because you said that you used to take things personal. Now you don't.
Right.
Um so how did you transition from being, taking things personal,
Mm,
especially when you have your own business,
mm,
especially when you have a podcast or and this is I'm a researcher. I like to research. I love research. I am such a nerd.
mm. And a
So,
wonderful one, by the way,
huh,
a
I'm
one
sorry.
a vibrant, wonderful,
Oh, well, thank
sassy,
you.
spicy nerd.
And I've noticed that that even with people that don't have their own business but have their own social media,
Mhm,
they have this longing of wanting to be mm, recognized, seen.
mhm,
They get this, rush when they see a like, when they see a comment, you know. So especially for having a business, you
mhm,
know, especially being a coach,
mhm,
when you hear the words, um, you need to change the name.
mhm,
Yeah, you need to go in a different path. You need to just drop this. So how did you navigate through that? How did you go from being sensitive, taking things personal, into, kind of like standing your ground? No,
mhm.
this is going to be the name. My business, my coaching program is going to be named the Gentleman Square. Do
Right.
tell.
So, when it first started happening, I was actually questioning it myself. I won't lie to you. I'm thinking, "Oh, well, maybe I should." But then what happened was I was on a journey of my own self-development. I was on a journey of, stepping into my own power and growing and evolving and knowing who I was and what my path was, my purpose, my true passion.
Mhm,
And even though I didn't stop, but I kind of like held back or probably slowed down a little bit, I then started in, inquiring within myself, like self exploring questions,
mm, mm,
interrogating myself in a way that I would ask, one of my clients, someone that I
mhm,
would be, um, taking them through sessions because I thought, why is this triggering me?
mhm,
Why is this triggering me? Because when something triggers you, it's often because you need to do some work around it.
mm.
So for me, that self-inquiry then led me to do more work on myself.
Mhm, mhm,
And because a lot of the people that, you know, the genders that were telling me about this, change the name, it's you should be coaching women, not men, et cetera, were men, were actually men, believe it or not.
mm.
So
Wow.
that's quite interesting, isn't it? So I thought,
So,
okay, I need
hold
to.
hold on, hold on.
This is just going to be
So
all about me today. I know. I can feel it.
so here you are,
Mm,
you're a male coach,
mhm,
and you're, dating and a relationship coach for high achieving men.
mhm.
Um, and men are telling you, no, you should coach women. No, how, how, I mean, to me, that's just devastating to me. If I'm an artist and other artists are saying, this is not for you.
Mhm.
So how do you get to that? How do you overcome that? How do you?
Okay, so the fact that they were telling me, really, when you break it down, it wasn't about me.
Mm,
It wasn't about me. This was stuff that was being triggered within them because this isn't happening anymore. Very
mm,
rarely. Men will kind of like, that's interesting, and then dive into, you know, investigating, going through my website, and they don't do that anymore. Whereas now, I think because I am so grounded and I know what I'm doing and I know what I want and I know who I'm serving,
mhm,
that doesn't happen anymore. But back then, again, through my own healing and exploring and answering some questions, it led me to also understand that these men were coming forward and telling me this because this was something that was triggering within them. This
mhm,
was areas of their life that needed healing. And in actual fact, they were my perfect clients. They would be clients that I would be naturally helping. Not that they
mhm,
were aware of that, and not that I ever mentioned that, but they had, let's face it, mummy issues or female issues, issues that they were very unconscious of, that
mhm,
they may have experienced a lot earlier in their life. And the fact
mm,
that here they're seeing a lady, a female, come along and coaching, nurturing, uplifting men,
mhm,
that's foreign to them. Why is it foreign? Well, possibly because they didn't get that in an earlier part of their life, their development, in their earlier stages of development. So it's foreign. It can't be, and it's too good to be true. And of course, they're going to criticize it because they don't understand it. But in actual
mhm.
fact, their true inner being wants to know more because they would ask me all the questions. If they really didn't care, they wouldn't go in and, you know, pick my brain, would they?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you have gone from, I mean, the journey for you to have the start of the Gentleman Square. So how long have you had this? So running, how long?
Okay. About half a decade now. We're coming on to half a decade. Yeah.
Half a decade.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay. And and do you see that your perseverance and your stance and your tenacity to continue because you believe that this is where your passion is. You believe that this is your contribution to society. You believe that this, you helping heal the men, um, all of that rocky road, all of that turmoil, all of that, kind of ups and downs, roller coaster was worth it.
Yes, yes, yes. And, there are days that, w not that I would give up or whatever, but I just think, "Wow, if they only could see what I see." If they could only allow themselves to open up. I'll give you an example. Just had a conversation with someone yesterday, a male friend, and we were talking about various things, and he was very stressed out and, had a few illnesses as well, and he was just self-criticizing himself the whole time, and I was listening. I usually don't coach, particularly my friends. I'll listen unless they ask for help, but I couldn't help asking him. I said to him, "When was the last time you looked in the mirror and told yourself you love yourself?" And he just froze. He goes, "I've never done that." I said, interesting. And how many times have you told a woman that you love her? A lot more times than he's told himself. And I said, "Well, and he goes, 'Why are you asking me this?'" Like, I started like, because I didn't want to go into the whole, this is what you should be doing. And no, because that's not what it's about. I just planted the seed and I said, you are the most important person here, apart from your partner. This is you living in your own skin, feeling all the feelings that you do. And all I'm hearing is this whole lot of criticism, but look how far you've come. Look what you've achieved. And I said, let's try this for a moment. And I put him on the spot. And it was, coming from a man. And then he eventually did. He did. And he goes, "Oh my God, that feels so strange." Because I've never done that before. And I said, "Yeah, it does. But does it feel strange bad or strange good?"
Mm.
And he said, "Yeah, it feels strange good." I said, "Yeah, well, can't be that bad then, can it?" So this is something very simple, very minor that men are not aware of.
Mm. Yeah.
They haven't had that from their mothers, like, say, little girls had, to be in front of the mirror, particularly, say, our era, maybe
Hmm.
more so now, the new younger
Yeah.
generation coming up. But our generation, they haven't had that. They don't even, that's foreign to them. That's like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, what does that even mean? What does that even look like? What
Hmm.
does that even feel like?"
Right.
So, and this applies to women as well. It's not only
Hmm.
men, but I'm just pointing it out to the men because here they are having to be so strong and so perfect and being the provider, being, the stronghold of keeping the castle together. And in the same time, most men, beat themselves up because they're not doing it right rather than looking at what they have done until now
Right.
and what they have achieved. So, yeah, this is really something that, is part of, you know, coaching and mentoring men that I just love. And the way that I deliver it is in a way that, you know, might be foreign, but it's not emasculating or making them feel like they're imperfect. Because basically, I'm your best friend. That's what I said. I'm your best friend.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
me for the next,
Yeah.
3 months, 6 months, whatever they hire me for. And I will be your best friend, and be honest and open. And of course, with honesty and openness does come some real raw stuff that comes out, right? And what
I
do you do with your bestie? If you're with a bestie, I mean, like you and I, Zanetta, there's been things
Mhm.
that you've had to break down for me, and I may have not wanted to hear it, but you have. Why? Because you care enough and you love me enough,
I do.
right? That you want the
I do.
best for me.
Yes.
And this is what I am for my clients. I want the best for them. I want them
Mhm.
to, and I want to deliver it in a way that, is nurturing, firm, and real and raw.
Yeah. I really, thank God for mm, your niche because I won't do it. I don't have the patience. Can I do it? Yeah, I can. But I don't have the patience, nor do I have the heart for it. Um because it eventually or essentially what you're doing is you're healing the other part of the relationship. Because you've mentioned it on the previous on a previous show that women we have all of these helps. We have all these people that we can go to. We're more open to our emotions. We're more open to speak about our hurts, and he did this and he cheated and he didn't call me and he ghosted me and so we have all of this. But the same things happen to men, but men don't tend to put it out there.
No,
So so when they go to another relationship, so when they get to the point of, "Oh, okay, I'm going to go out there again," but they're still carrying that pain from the past, and then now they're going to bring it to the next relationship. And so you're there to help the other side, to heal. And so I just applaud you for being so brave and um, making our men stronger, healed, whole, because that's important when they come into a relationship. They also need to be whole, coming into the relationship. And how can they get to know you? What do they need to do? Where do they need to go? Because we didn't get to do that last time. I
mm.
know we have this fun, fresh Friday, but go for it.
Okay, so I'm pretty much, you know, I've had my website, the Gentleman Square website. I do have a YouTube channel, which has now hit 1,000 subscribers. Can I just celebrate that over 1,000
Woo!
subscribers? Yeah, I'm pretty
Congratulations.
excited. I'm pretty excited. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, obviously Facebook. I do have a men's group of 500 members, which is successful men attracting their ideal partner. So if you want to look that up on Facebook, most welcome to join as a male, of course. It's not a dating groupie thing where you get to meet other women. I do have weekly webinars where we talk about just everyday general topics that men are faced with, struggling with, celebrating. It's not all doom and gloom, but of course, uh, everyone's going through different things and different challenges. So I try and tackle them, and it's where I can come in and talk. And some people are live, and I'm able to answer questions on the spot, or people can then chime in and leave messages. I do offer also a complimentary, consult, or what I call an insight call, where we just chat. It's chat with Stefania. You can ask me anything you want. If there's any issues, and I can steer you in the right direction, or offer any recommendations. It's not a sales call. I just want to reiterate that. I'm not about sales, and I do work with people that want to work on themselves. Okay,
So
I'm not here to try and push anyone into anything. I'm not here to try and change your mind. I'm here to enlighten you, and if you feel it energetically, there will be that natural pull to want to work on yourself and work specifically with me. If you don't have that, well then, that's okay too. Not every one's for, what is it? Different strokes for different folks.
right.
Yeah, so I do offer that. So, and I'm very generous with my time, sometimes a little too generous, and I've got to like, you know, for my own sake, because energetically it does take a lot out of you. But yeah, I love it, and I love the fact that now with my group I'm really getting in and getting to know everyone. I know a lot of men are watching me, are listening to me, may not possibly be engaging, but that's okay, because when they're ready, they will come forth in stepping out. So, we're not all ready. What is it? That the teacher appears when the student's ready, or the student will hear the teacher when they are ready.
Yeah.
Um, how many times have we heard the same story, and then all of a sudden, someone else out of the blue comes along and says it and says,
Said the same thing. I'm like, "Oh, wow." Yeah.
yeah, and I've been saying this for a while, but that's okay. We're all on a different journey. And
Yeah.
so that's where you can reach me. I do also have my own book that I've written, and it's
Mhm.
out to get a hold of on Amazon, Master the Language of Attraction. I do have another one coming out soon as well, but this one is a really good read. It's got some juicy chapters in it to help you attract and also understand the language, because, you know, dating is very much like dancing. And I
Mm.
went away also and did a whole dance salsa convention the other week, which was amazing. I learned so much, not only in dance, but I learned so much with the interaction of, you know, the male and female on the dance floor, and how you could be dancing with someone and not even say a word, but all in the expression of body language, leading
Mhm.
on the dance floor, which applies to leading, you know, in a date, in a
Mhm.
relationship, because the
Mhm.
leading doesn't just stop after you stop dating and you're in a serious relationship. That leading still continues.
Right.
And let's face it, women, majority of women or high caliber women, as strong as they are in their own, energy and their own selves, they still want a man to lead. They don't want to be leading in their jobs where they've got, high pressure jobs, responsibilities left, right, and center, and have to come back into their relationship home, whether it's a long-term relationship or even a date, where they have to work out where we're going to eat. you know so I can understand a man asking a woman, what foods do you like, what is there anything particular, what's your palate like, and she can express that. But then, what do you want to eat, where do you want to go, what do you think? Well, I don't know, what do you think? Well, I don't know, I thought I'd leave it to you. This backwards and forwards thing, I don't know about you, Zanetta. As women, we want, like, really, I like seafood, or I like Mexican. Like, can't you feel the expression of, like, my eyes light up as we talk about Mexican food or whatever? I don't know, for an example. So these are like cues that are so important for men to pick up on
Mhm.
and say, yeah, okay, I know this great place that, or I know this place that I haven't tried it, but it looks always busy and packed. How about we go there? Sure, let's go. Right?
Yeah.
How refreshing is that for a female? And
Yeah.
if there's any females out there, please let me know. Is it only just me? And that way we're not feeling like, oh, I'm gonna have to pick the restaurant, I'm gonna have to pick the day, or I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's tiring because if I'm hungry, sometimes I'm like, I'm hungry and I don't care what.
Mhm.
Just pick a place.
Mhm.
You
Yes.
know, just pick. But we get to the point to where Jeff um is not food motivated.
He's not.
He's not food motivated at all. So so I'll say like, do you have a taste for Thai tonight?
Mm.
And then he'll play, huh? Oh yeah. Oh good, because I know this place. Or he will be like, we've already been to that place. Why don't we try this place? Because I was driving by and I was like, oh, that might be a good place too. And we'll do that. Um, but yeah, I want to give a little on the side of the female where I was done with men, done with, all this, and I just wanted to have fun. That's all I wanted. Um, but when I met Jeff, he was looking for a partner, that he had in his mind what she is, what she's like, and how she presents herself. And I was looking for like a companionship or you know just enough, and then I'll go back to home. Yeah.
Step right back.
Yeah, but and Jeff did something that I've never had experience before with any men, and I felt seen.
Mm.
I felt heard. Because we would walk by and I was like, oh, that is so pretty. And then we would continue walking, not knowing he was taking a mental note, not knowing. And then next thing I'll know, he'll have a card. Let me show you something. And this is one of, I have 4 boxes. Boxes. This is extra.
Wow. Of the many surprises, gifts. Oh, letters, writing. Oh,
Handwritten notes.
oh,
Yeah, handwritten notes. So I can show you right there.
yeah. How beautiful.
The
Now,
handwritten
I
notes.
always say that to men. Write a note, leave it somewhere like a surprise on her dashboard of the car, stick it on her revision mirror or on the wipers.
Yeah. There was one time where I got up and he left early and I went to make my coffee and there was a sticky note
Hmm.
there that says, "Good morning, my love. Have a wonderful day." And start your day with, because he already had it prepared. All I had to do was click. That was like,
How beautiful.
so these are different things that he does, and he has not stopped. I was supposed to go away um, to a place where it was going to be really heavily emotional, and so I had my bags packed, and I wound up not going to that place. But I kept my suitcase packed because I was going to Chicago. So when I opened up the suitcase, there was a teddy bear
Oh, oh, how
and
good.
a
No,
handwritten note inside saying, "I wish I could be with you. You are strong." I mean, he had so much stuff on that, and I was like,
that's beautiful. Now, just explain that, Zanetta, what it does for us females to have, and that's inexpensive. It's
very
where
inexpensive.
and we explain to the audience, to the males out there, if they're listening, what this really does. Like for us women, how does it make us feel?
It makes me feel I have a support. It makes me feel that he hears my pain, he hears my struggles, and that I mean, the touch of the teddy bear is like, this is something for you to hug at night, just to feel my presence. And so that lets me know that he thought about this ahead of time. That means he had me in his brain, in his thoughts.
Mhm.
Um, I feel seen, even after 5 years of marriage.
That's
You know,
awesome.
I'm still seen. I'm still heard. I'm still his priority. Yeah,
And that's exactly right. It doesn't stop
it doesn't. No.
after you move in together, or it doesn't stop after you get married or after you get engaged. It's it's continuous. It just
Yeah.
it's an investment. Now, for some men, it might seem like hard work,
Mm,
but it's not work. If you can
mm,
just translate it into, it is like watering that plant to watch it grow, putting in bitcoins into your account, and it's the bitcoins are growing. It's the same thing no matter how you look at it, whether you're a businessman that's more, you know, logical, mathematical, more
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
dollar sign, or whether you are out growing vegetables and plants. It doesn't matter your kind of your nature of what's important. We all value something
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
in life,
yeah.
and you can apply that kind of valuing and prioritizing to your relationship, and invest something that you're speaking her language, because obviously
Mm-hmm,
for you it's, I wouldn't say so much the gifts. Yes, the gift, but it's the thought. It's the thought process that goes behind it. He's taken the time to sit down and write about it. He thought about me a week ahead, you know? And this is special. This is really,
yeah,
really special.
yeah.
And it doesn't take much.
No.
So, gentlemen out there, you gents out there that are listening, it's these little things that is just going to make her heart melt.
Yeah. And whenever he flies out to, whenever he travels. Now, mind you, we both wake up in the morning. I He knows immediately. I make the bed. That's just my routine. I make the bed up. He goes take a shower. I go take a shower. We all get dressed, and then he's all packed up, and then we go. And so the doors close my in our bedroom, and I'm already going upstairs to my office here to work. And he knows my routine that I don't go back into the bedroom. So me thinking all day, I'm like, ugh, this, work, dealing with, investigation, interviewing this person, that person, hearing testimony, kind of draining. And then I go downstairs, try get dinner ready, and then when I go into it's time for me to turn down. He calls me,
Mhm.
and he doesn't say a word, doesn't say a word. And so we'll say our good nights, and then I go into the room, and what do I find? A note on my side of the bed.
Oh, and
Yeah.
what's the note? Like, "Hope you had a great day, thinking of you," whatever,
Yes.
right?
Missing you. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so thoughtful. I used to have a boyfriend like that, actually. I must admit.
Oh.
Yeah. He was, definitely, a note writer. He used to write me letters actually as well. I used to love it, and
Yes.
handwritten, and yeah, there's something about a handwritten letter that does so much for us, I think, as women. And I
Yes.
know we're living in a digital world and we write text messages and things like that. But if you're with someone and you know, you're spending a lot of time with them and or you're living with them, whatever the case, even if you're not living with them, a nice handwritten note. It doesn't have to be a card. You don't have to be spending money on cards.
No.
Um, can go a long way and really tickle her soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tickle her
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah. And so he's teaching me this. And so my return to him would
Mhm.
be, um, oh, let's go driving. Let's go, out. And he loves bears. Loves bears.
Does he?
So, oh yes,
So you
especially
go,
polar
oh,
bears,
oh,
especially polar bears. Oh my
mm,
goodness. So
mhm.
anytime I see a video of polar bears, I'll send it to him immediately. Um, and he loves to fly. He's a pilot, so he loves to fly. He loves to watch airplanes, and so his taste, his thing is a little bit more expensive, so he understands. But he loves to spend time. He We don't have to say anything as long as I'm in the same room, watching whatever he wants to watch. Loves it. So this is my way of letting him know that I see him. I know, that he loves the interaction, with just touch. I think his love language is touch.
Mm.
Yes, he wants me to be around to touch him. So,
Holding
when we're
hands, that means, like, holding hands when you walk
yes,
together, having
yes,
his arm around you, or you just
yeah,
resting on his leg while you're watching TV, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And this is what we do. Every time we get in the car, before we leave, before we even we kiss each other. And the reason being is that we never know if there's an accident that's going to happen. That's going to take one of us.
Mm.
And that kiss is to let each other know this is the last thing that we did.
Together.
So that it won't be, because you hear it all the time. You hear well, we didn't even get to say goodbye. Well, we didn't even kiss. We didn't even, so that's what we do. If he's going to work, we kiss. No matter what. I watch him leave to
Mm,
go out and
that's
wave goodbye.
beautiful.
Just that's the last thing that he sees or I see, him doing this and me doing this. But when we're in together in a car, we kiss before we leave. When we go to a restaurant, when we're pulling out, before we pull out, we kiss again.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's our
That
thing, because it was asked to us. Why do you do that?
No, I think that's beautiful. That should
Yeah.
be just a given in a relationship. I mean, I understand that because I'm like that. And if I've ever been in a relationship and they just say bye, it's like, what? Like, yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
like say, I don't do this. I do the full kiss goodbye. And I think that comes from, I don't know what upbringing you had, but for me, or maybe for Jeff, he had that. But coming from an Italian background, and, we kiss all the time. We kiss before we go to bed, good night, wake up in the morning, kiss. We leave to go and get, the groceries. We say, give a kiss, come back, give a kiss. We're forever kissing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing in the Philippines. With my brothers and sisters and my mom, my dad. Yeah. You kiss. Yep.
10 times a day. You're leaving the house, you're
Even with my
separating.
brothers. Yeah. Even
Mhm.
with my brothers, we would kiss. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because that's normal. That's now for someone that's not used to that and isn't been brought up with that, it can be foreign. It can be a little strange. So
Mhm.
if that is one of your love languages, touching, kissing, and that doesn't mean, sexual. Let's make distinguish. There's a difference between sexual touching and just touching as a love language. It's very, very important to know that that could be your partner's love language,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, because that's how they were brought up. I mean, we were brought up with lots of kisses, cuddles, squeezing of cheeks, and of course, that we felt loved. We really felt loved.
Mhm.
Um, and again, doing that little bit of research on your partner.
Right.
It may not be touch. It may be gifts. It may be,
Mhm.
um,
Words of affirmation,
yeah, affirmation, gifts of service, quality time. How many times
quality
do you
time.
hear partners, couples say, "Oh, I buy her everything. She's got everything she needs. Why is she complaining?" And it's because it's not the gifts that she wants. She probably wants his quality time. She wants him,
Yeah.
more at home, or not so much at home, but doing things together where they're spending that quality time.
Yeah.
Um, so it definitely is an area to explore. And if you're not aware of what your own love language is, you know, you can take the quiz test. There's a quiz test online now with Gary Chapman's five
Mhm.
love language languages. He's got the book out. I know some people cringe when they hear that. We do have a little bit of everything, no
Mhm.
doubt.
Mm.
Some people say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I adopt all of them." Of course we do, but there's always one that is more favorable
Yeah.
over the others. So if you can
Now
work that out, that really does
mm,
help relationships. Mm.
yeah, now do you do that with your male clients? Do you try to have them find out what their love language is so that
Ab
they can, express?
Absolutely, absolutely, and not only express it with, a so-called partner, but also with themselves.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Because if that is their love language, they've got to be able to be comfortable with it with themselves as well. Because usually, if that's how they feel loved, that's usually how they like to love.
Mm.
Because, you see, let's take Jeff, for example. His love language is touch, right? So he loves to touch. He loves to hold you. He loves to hold your hand. He loves to brush against you as probably he's walking past the kitchen or whatever. But he
Mhm.
also likes to receive it. So as much as he likes to give it, he also loves to receive it.
Yes.
Sometimes some people think that's their love language because that's what they want, but they can't also give it, if that
Right.
makes sense. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so there's a little bit of exploring with that to understand exactly what you're comfortable with. So if you can
Mm.
give it to yourself, then you're very comfortable with giving it to others.
Yeah. I was just listening to you and listening, because you're a male coach and we're kind of diving deep into what you do and how you, it's not what you all think.
And if you're not getting that part, you have to watch part 1 of this series, which was last
Part
2
one and then part two should
weeks.
solidify what um, that I was just thinking about. You might want to uh, coin this right away, or take it. You know, I'm man enough to love me.
Mm, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so true. I love that. I am man
yeah,
enough to love me, because yeah, that can fall on deaf ears for some men, or make them feel like they're less of a man, that they're loving themselves.
yeah, yeah. I'm man enough to love.
I
Yeah,
love that.
because us women, we're so expressive when we do these things. Oh, I love me some me. You know, it becomes like a feminine energy. But when I listen to the previous show and today and what you do and how you empower the men, to see themselves, love on themselves, that they're man enough to love themselves. I'm man enough to love me. Yeah, it still
Yeah.
has a testosterone, a manly kind of thing.
And it's sexy for us to watch.
Yes.
Isn't it
Yeah.
sexy for us to
I
watch
was,
and
I
hear?
yes, if I saw a man with a shirt like that, I'm man enough to love me. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm sorry,
Exactly.
that's a real man right there.
Right, because if you can't love yourself, there's no way that you can love a woman,
Yeah.
if we're
I,
talking to men here.
I've always said that you cannot give what you don't have.
Mm.
You can only give what you have. If you're heartbroken, you're traumatized, you're in a broken relationship, you were in a broken relationship and you didn't heal, guess what you're gonna give?
Oh.
And guess what?
Yep.
Yes.
What you're gonna receive, what you're gonna attract. You're just gonna
Yeah.
attract more pain, more
Yeah.
brokenness, attract
Yeah.
another
And
broken person into your life.
yeah, and if you just look at it logically, if there's a vase or a pail or whatever, a keg, since we want to talk about men and manly stuff,
Mm.
you have a keg, and if it has a hole, no matter how much you put, it's still going to drain out. So
Mhm.
the person has to be whole. The male has to be whole. So yeah, get your get your manly on.
That's right. So and this loving, this man enough to love yourself is not just in one area. Like, for example, this is very typical of some men to love themselves physically in the
Mm,
gym, for example, like going to the gym and looking after yourself and looking after your body, eating right. That's part of loving yourself.
mm,
But it has to be balanced with all the other areas of your life. So loving
right.
yourself, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, as well as physically. When you have a nice balance of all those,
Yeah.
well, you're very attractive to, you know,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
because for us to see a man like that is like, he's got it together. He's got it together. And what more do we really, aspire to or attracted to a man that has it together?
Hmm.
Now, he may still be on his journey as he's getting it together, as we all are, right? We're not all perfect, but
Right.
there's there's signs of consistency, persistence,
Hmm.
determination, passion, all that, comes into
Hmm.
play. And yeah, that together with, a woman that is on the same journey,
Hmm.
she may not be on the same, parallel level, but you're able to lift her or she's able to lift you. And this is
Right.
how we climb in relationships, right? This is how
Right.
we grow and we come closer and build stronger bonds with each
Yeah.
other.
You know, um, I had a, say, it's okay to not be on the same page
Absolutely.
because eventually one will catch up, you know,
Yes.
one will catch up. But what isn't
Okay.
acceptable
Mm.
or okay is that you're on a different page with two different books.
Oh. That's asking for some disaster drama, right?
Right. Right. It's okay to be not on the same page, but as long as you're on the same book.
Mm.
But if you're on a different page and you have two different books, you'll never never catch up.
Yeah, because you're on 2 total different planets.
Exactly.
Yeah, and what might
Yeah.
seem exciting
Mm.
and different and, adventurous in the beginning,
Mhm.
it'll eventually, all that will fade out, and the true
Right.
essence of the 2 people will come together and think, "Well, what am I doing with this person? Like, we're just total complete opposites," right? I hear that all the
Right.
time. I hear that all the
Mhm.
time. In fact, I
Yeah.
was on a call with someone 2 days ago who expressed that to me, and he was in, a marriage of 21 years with someone that he's just, you know, not realized now. He really realizes that he never really loved her. And this was more of a cultural thing. They totally,
Mm.
um,
Mm. Understand that.
2 different worlds, 2 different cultures, even the language, there was, and if which really, language is, yes, an issue, but again, the love languages is the more important, because if you can have the love languages that are in flow with each other, then the
Mhm.
language of the actual, language that you speak, because the language of love has no language, right?
Right.
You know,
Right.
you can,
It's a communication. It's a form of communication,
right,
but not in the vernacular, you know. Yeah.
right, right. So yeah, being able to have those intimate conversations, that flow of conversation. So a lot of this came up, and wow, that's a long time to be together with someone to realize that. But sometimes we have to journey through those
Mm.
years. It does take
Yeah.
us longer. So I
Yeah.
think also there's not enough in the pre-preparation, whether it's marriage or whether it's, living together now, because people are kind of avoiding marriages,
Mm.
consolidating relationships through a marriage legally. But even so, if you move in with that person, there's some kind of legality, isn't there? Like, the system, if you're living together more than 2, 3 years, I don't know what it is in the States, but um, it's like you're living a de facto, you're living a partnered life. So then if something happens financially, that could really take you through a big tornado
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
loss of a
Yeah.
lot of finances. So having said that, I think, well, I believe a pre um, a pre-relationship kind of program for couples is essential. If
Oh
you
yeah.
decide to live with someone, and as much as you're in love and you think you know it and you think you're just perfect for each other, it's an investment to take yourselves through some counseling, you know, couples therapy, to get to explore and know more about yourself, together about more about your partner as well.
Mhm. I think I believe in getting, if you're not in a relationship yet, or not getting yourself together, and that's why coaches like you
Mhm.
are essential,
Yeah.
because then you're allowing the man to have a one-on-one, kind of behind the scenes, without anyone knowing what's going on, but having that exploratory kind of journey, so that your client can see where they're at in their heartache, where they're at in their brokenness, where they're at in their wholeness, kind of thing. So yeah, I think that is more, um, in my mind. This is my mind. In my mind, it works easier.
Yes.
If the male goes to therapy on their own or to go to a coach on their own. Get that help, get that, you know, um, that start that healing. Like what I said that in the previous show that we had, they were hurt by a woman. They have these issues with a woman, not knowing that their healing started when they called you for their coaching, journey, because subconsciously they don't know that you're a woman.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they don't know this, but then it'll dawn on them, later on. It'll be conscious. It'll be like, oh my gosh, Stefania, you got me here. So those men that say, I'm done with women, and then they come to you for healing, they're really not done with women.
No.
I can't find a high, I'm all and this and that. That's all they really, but then they come to you, Stefania, I need help. So that's the beginning of their journey of healing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And it's the same thing with women. Women, we're so quick to go to therapy. Yeah. Some of culturally, again, some cultures are not quick to go to therapy.
No, no.
But we're quicker to, talk to a girlfriend, talk to someone, get our feelings and um listen to. And sometimes we look for yay sayers. Well,
Mm,
he did this, girl, leave him.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's yeah. I think if you've got some serious situations happening, seek professional help. I mean, it's good to talk to a
Mhm.
girlfriend, but I think too that girlfriend may be speaking from her own personal experience or her own personal trauma. So it
Yeah,
may not be the right direction that they're
right.
sending you, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
some relationships can be salvaged.
Hmm. Yeah, they can be. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we've
Yes.
spent another hour on me. So your
Yes.
the next session is going to be all about you, Zanetta, the business and life strategist coach,
Ooh.
and talk about your journey because you've had an interesting journey. I can't wait to
Yeah.
be asking you questions. And yeah, so everyone that's out there, join us next week because we have got Zanetta Wooden on the hot seat. She knows this time. I didn't know last week or the 2 weeks ago when we did the first episode, which was very clever of you, Zanetta. I
Of
must say,
course.
you're very clever. It's the investigator in her shining through. But I just want to say thank you, Zanetta, for you know taking the time to, I guess, ask me these questions because you learned a little bit more about me too, um,
I have.
in the interim.
Yeah.
So, and also everyone out there has learnt a little bit more about me, which is often, I mean, let's face it, we like to hear about other people's stories, but how often do we really, go into our own story and talk about it
Right.
vulnerably? We don't. It's a lot harder. So this has also been a great experience for me, and I feel good about it because it is me. It is who I am. And
Mm.
as I said in the last episode, a lot of people have mixed perceptions of me, which surprises me when they tell me. I was like, really? um, if only they knew
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
how nerdy I can be. And yeah. But
Okay. Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. But anyway, Zanetta, as always, it's a pleasure. A pleasure, pleasure.
Yes.
I love being on this show with you, Fun Fresh Fridays, and we're going to be back next week with Zanetta and talking and questioning her journey and who really is Zanetta. Who
Oh.
is Zanetta? Who was Zanetta and who is she now? Because she's had her journey as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that that spicy wildcat. Can I call you that?
Yeah. Ah, yeah.
Yeah, right? I like that.
Yeah.
I like that name for you, Spicy Wildcat. He's just got a heart of gold, a heart of gold. So, yeah. All
Mhm.
right.
Okay.
So, everybody, thank you for chiming in. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
Thanks for
Thank you.
joining in. Thanks for your comments. As always, we love getting back to you. Please tell us what you think, your thoughts,
Yeah.
your hidden thoughts.
Mm.
All of them. And we will definitely get back to you. Until
Yes.
next week,
Until next week.
yes, we send you
Love.
and passion. Bye for now.
Bye for now.